do a little bit of prep for our stuffed and baked eggplant. Now, I'm just going to do a recipe for one eggplant. So, depending on how many eggplant you would like to make and how many servings you need, will depend on how much more you will need in ingredients. So, I'm just going to use one asparagus stem for one eggplant, and I'm slicing it up very thinly. Now bear in mind this is not cooked, so it will cook in the oven. So this is why I do it so fine. Okay, now I'm going to pop in 2 small mushrooms, fresh mushrooms. I usually will cut them in half and just slice them very thinly. Now I'm going to pop in some feta. I'm just going to slice my feta cubes up very finely, and I'm also putting in some semi-dried tomatoes, and again I am cutting those up quite finely. Now I've only used 3 pieces of sun-dried tomato and 4 small cubes of feta cheese. Now I also bought some beautiful herbed split green olives. So again, I'm just going to cut them into fine slices. I've just grabbed half a dozen. I do really like Mediterranean flavours. It's really easy to put whatever flavour into these that you would like. If I had some red capsicum, I would also pop some red capsicum in, maybe even some artichoke hearts. I generally make these up with whatever ingredients I have available. So for me, the recipe changes all the time. I'm very much an intuitive cook as opposed to following strict recipes, but I will be giving you all of the amounts that I put in here if you would like to follow this exact recipe. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is slice up half an average sized onion. Now I do cut it fairly fine. You may prefer to have larger slices, it's up to you. Everyone has their own personal preferences. Now I'm just going to grab a piece of Polish sausage. You can use whatever meat you would like in this, or you can just do it all with vegetables. It's entirely up to you. So I cut it in quarters, and then again nice slim slices. So really, we've probably only used maybe 4 centimetres of sausage. We don't need a lot. And I have also put aside a heaped teaspoon of garlic. I have, wrong one, sorry. Where is my, here we go. This is my beautiful eggplant I'm going to use. And I also have some baby spinach and 1 stem of spring onion. So we'll put just not too much of the baby spinach because we know that will cook down to almost nothing. Okay, so I'm just going to finely slice my spring onion. I'm cutting a small part of the really green part of the onion because I would like some nice colours in there. And I'm just going to pop those in with my baby spinach so that they don't cook that much that they go completely soft and mushy. Okay, so this is the hard part. This is where we need to start using our rolling pin to try and flatten our eggplant down a little. It's not an easy thing to do. So I'll try to get the narrow end a little bit flat because then it makes it a bit easier to come up to the fatter end. You will have to be patient with doing this because it's not overly easy if you can't get thin eggplant. We don't want them completely flat, but we do want them a little flat. Okay, look, I'm reasonably happy with that. We are a bit thick up the end here, but it isn't an overly thin eggplant, so we just have to do the best that we can. Now I'm going to split this eggplant, and what we want to do, we do want to leave the leaves on the top here, and we want to split it from the top almost all the way down to the bottom. Now what you will notice in these ones with the fatter bottom, there is quite a bit of flesh in there. So what we can do to help with this and to help it cook is to actually cut some of that flesh. We don't want to take it out. We just want to cut it a little bit away so that when we start to cook this, it will actually cook and flatten inside. Okay. So what we will do now is we're going to drizzle this with some olive oil, sprinkle a bit of salt on it, and then we're going to throw it in the oven at 180 for about 20 minutes. Just checking on it after 10 minutes and 15 minutes. Now I have got a pan that I'm just going to throw a little bit of olive oil in. I'm going to have this on a fairly high heat to start with, just so I can heat this pan up and heat the oil up fairly quickly. Okay, so I think we can pop it in now. Now I'm going to start off with the onion. Pop our finely chopped onion in. I'm also going to pop in the garlic. Oh, I just had a piece of onion jump out of the pan. 2 pieces. Now I'm just going to turn it down to a medium heat because I don't want this to burn. Now I'm going to just toss in a little sea salt, good sprinkling because we're going to be adding a lot of other ingredients. And I'm going to also put in a little bit of cumin. The smell of the cumin and the garlic and onion is just beautiful. Now I'm going to pop in our asparagus stalk. Now what we're doing is we're just going to do a very quick fry off. So these vegetables will not all be cooked, but they will certainly be partially cooked. Now I'm going to pop in my thinly sliced mushrooms. I'm just going to raise the temperature a tiny bit because we're introducing quite a bit of cooler food into the pan. Starting to look good. Now we're going to pop in our baby spinach along with our spring onion or green onion. Some people call it green onion. It's also nice to pop in some fresh herbs if you've got fresh herbs. I don't have any at the moment, but I have some veggies that should be able to be picked in the next month or two. So I will be making a lot of home cooked vegetable items. And I also have a very large pear tree. So in the next few months I will be making some pear jam, pear jelly, and also some amazing pear chutney. Now I'm going to pop in the olives now. And I'm also going to pop in our sausage. And what we're basically doing at this point now is just making sure everything in here is warmed up. It doesn't take long to do this quick fry up, so you might need to wait a few minutes so that you can pull your eggplant out of the oven and stuff it fairly quickly. Now I'm going to turn the heat off completely now. So this has a sensor on it, and when I turn it off, the heat completely dissipates instantly. So I'm really happy with that. And what I'm going to do now, I've got my feta cheese with the semi-dried tomatoes, and I also have the Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to leave these here for now. But once I'm ready to pull my eggplant out of the oven and stuff it, I will actually mix these through this mix, and then we will stuff the eggplant. We will pop some camembert slices across the top, and then we'll pop it in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so I have just pulled out my eggplant out of the oven. Now what I'm going to do is pop the feta and sun-dried tomato into our mix, our stuffing mix, and also our Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to fold that through so that we get the flavour sort of evenly mixed through. Okay. There we have it. Now, look at this gorgeous eggplant. So you can see the centre has really given us quite a bit of room now. So I'm just going to go and grab a spoon, and we'll start stuffing. Okay. I'm just using a fork to keep each side open so that we can put all our stuffing inside. We want to make sure that we really fill it up. This is not an entree sized meal. It is definitely a main course sized meal. Now I know there are a lot of vegans and vegetarians out there, and this is also a fantastic recipe for you to use. You can pretty much use whatever you would like as a stuffing in here. And the flavours that come with this are just beautiful. As I said, I have given this quite a bit of a Mediterranean influence. But there's also, I suppose, with the cumin, there's a little bit of Middle East of a hint in there as well. I really do love mixing up all different spices and flavours. And this really is truly a taste sensation when it's finished. I also, at some point, would like to make my mum's traditional German stuffed capsicums or red peppers. And they are cooked in the oven or on the cooktop in a tomato-based sauce. And they are just beautiful too, really yummy. Haven't made them in a while, so that will be something that I'd really enjoy cooking again. Okay, so look at that. It looks fantastic. I'm just going to pop my 3 pieces of camembert across the top. Now they will melt beautifully. And we're going to pop this back into the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. Just keep your eye on it. Check it after 15 minutes and we'll see how we turn out. I'm really excited. I have pulled out our beautiful stuffed eggplant. We have beautiful melted cheese all over here. So I'm just going to pick it up and pop it on our plate. Just move this out of the way. Now look at this loveliness. I'm going to cut it. Oh, look at that. It is so beautifully cooked through. Just perfectly cooked. And I'll just show you the eggplant itself so you can see how beautifully cooked it is. We'll have a taste. That is an absolute taste sensation. Bon appetit!